If you're a Campbell connoisseur or simply someone who buys a bulk of their soup from grocery stores, then you're probably familiar with the picks on this list. Most canned soups are full of sodium, and while they're not the healthiest thing around, they are quite tasty. However, some are pretty disappointing, and we've rounded up the most common offenders. Do you agree with this list? 1. Beans with bacon. As previously mentioned, all Campbell's soups are loaded with sodium, so get ready for that salty flavor profile. Unfortunately, the beans and bacon one has got a lot going against it. It comes across a bit bland, and the tomato puree used within is a bit off-putting. It's a soup that works better when eaten with something. 2. Cream of mushroom. Cream of mushroom is a classic soup pick, and it's exactly what you want on those cold winter days. While Campbell advertises its mushroom soup as made of real cream, the flavors just don't hit. It has a thick and cloying texture that feels more like a paste than cream. Do note that this isn't the same as the condensed cream of mushroom soup, which you'll find elsewhere. 3. Chunky beef with country vegetables. In theory, this soup sounds tasty and filling, but it's quite average compared to other soups and just lacks that flavor it seems to promise. That being said, it's a nostalgic pick and has nutrients from both meat and vegetables on offer. 4. Cream of chicken. If you want a creamy soup, then this one might sound like a solid pick, but what makes it fall short is its neutral taste. It just doesn't work well on its own, and much like the beans with bacon one, requires some help in the flavor department. Maybe throw in a grilled cheese. 5. Chunky spicy chicken quesadilla. This title has a lot going for it, and unfortunately the soup just doesn't deliver. It's full of chicken, peppers, beans, corn, and a helping of cheese as well. But the tomato puree base comes across as bland, and the Tex-Mex flavors just feel messy. 6. Split pea with ham and bacon. So far, bacon hasn't been having a promising record. In that same vein, the split pea with ham soup is a strange blend of peas and smoked bacon with some celery and carrots thrown in for good measure. As far as soups go, it's painfully average. 7. Vegetarian vegetable. What sets this soup apart from other veggie-focused one is the use of an actual vegetarian broth. Usually, Campbell will use beef broth for most of its soup. With the meat out of the equation, this soup still has some work to do, as it's still bland tasting. Either way, it's a solid side soup with something more exciting. 8. Chunky New England clam chowder. Clam chowder may be a bit of an acquired taste, but when done right, it's like a warm hug. In addition to the seafood fixings, this soup also has some nice potatoes thrown in. However, the texture just isn't creamy like you want, and the base itself feels a bit watery. 9. Old-fashioned vegetable. So far, it seems that Campbell needs to work on its vegetable game. The broth within tastes thin and rather lackluster. You also won't get much in terms of texture, as the veggie bits are quite tiny and soft. 10. Tomato A to Z's. This soup was definitely designed with kids in mind, so perhaps we can forgive some of the flavor lapses. This soup isn't all that special, coming across light, making it a solid snack for when you don't want to commit to a whole meal. It tastes oddly like that one tomato soup you eat when you're sick. The letter-shaped pasta is a cool touch, but doesn't add much. Now that we talked about soups that let us down, here are 10 that more than deliver. 1. Chunky spicy chicken and sausage gumbo. When you think of gumbo, you probably think of Cajun spices and a hearty helping of warm flavors. This can deliver on that promise, packing a bit of heat and plenty of tasty textures in the form of meats and rice. This can come across like a perfectly balanced meal and one you'll have a hard time not finishing. 2. Mexican-style chicken tortilla. Luckily, Campbell's redeems itself when it comes to Tex-Mex flavors through its chicken tortilla soup. This can have everything from chicken, corn, chili peppers, and even some tortilla chips thrown in. It's a great texture that feels smooth, and all the ingredients work well together without overpowering one another. 3. Homemade Italian-style wedding. Italian wedding soup often involves green vegetables and meats cooked up in chicken broth. It's as popular in America as it is in Italy, and Campbell has their own take to offer. This delectable soup has a rich chicken broth base with pasta, spinach, and meatballs thrown in for a home run. 4. Tomato soup. It's really hard to beat the classics, and the tomato soup proves that. The recipe is simple and the texture comes across as creamy. It's the iconic duo for any grilled cheese sandwich and is a welcome addition to every table no matter the season. 5. Chunky sirloin burger with country vegetables. The chunky line is clearly full of winners, and the sirloin burger iteration delivers even more flavors. The soup comes across as rich and moist with a healthy helping of meat. Plus, there are some potatoes, carrots, and green beans thrown in too for a fulfilling meal. 6. Home-style savory chicken with brown rice. If this soup sounds healthy, it's because the ingredients within certainly are. Brown rice is often better than white rice, and the nutty flavor only adds to the versatility of the soup. Additionally, you'll get some protein in with that chicken, and it helps cover all your food groups with just one soup. 7. Chunky hearty beef barley. At this point, it's no surprise to see more chunky soups in here. This can, in particular, is packed with protein and promises to be a filling meal. To that end, the broth is easily the star of the show thanks to its blend of barley, celery, and carrots. 8. Chunky hearty bean and ham. If you prefer beans and ham, then Campbell has you covered there too. The veggies are just as flavorful as the ham, but the beans may be the real show stealer here. The soup offers up lots of protein and can be a great after-workout meal to fill you up. 9. Condensed cream of mushroom. While this one isn't the greatest soup, it's pretty nostalgic and quite decent. It's definitely better than the super thick cream of mushroom soup that they offer. It has a smooth texture and a pretty reliable flavor profile. It's also a milder soup, which might be what you want. 10. Chunky classic chicken noodle. There's no better way to end this list than with another chunky winner. Chicken noodle soup is a cozy and nostalgic dish for many, with plenty of parents fixing up a serving for their sick children. This soup is very reminiscent of those flavors and includes twisted noodles, carrots, celery, and a perfectly warming broth. Although fair warning, this broth is definitely on the saltier side.